Good morning, boys and girls. So yesterday we worked on finishing your plot mountain or your mountain plot, which is where all your events take place. So now with that mountain plot, you should have your introduction, climax, your resolution, as well as your 3 rising actions and your 2 falling actions. If you want to have more, that's great. However, don't have more than 4, just because that's going to have a lot of detail and that's going to add a little bit more work when we do start putting your play together, the more events you have. Alrighty, friends, so today we're going to work on filling in our characters and our setting. So we already know in my play who our characters are. We've already talked a little bit about the setting. However, when we talk about our characters and our setting, we do want to make sure that we're adding a little bit of detail with them too, give a little bit of backstory about our characters as well. So for this, I'm going to make sure that I click on it first, click on the text box first, and then double click to get that cursor blinking in there. And then I'm going to come up to our bullet points again. Mine are kind of hidden today, which is probably how yours are going to look. So you should just have to go to more, and then your bullets are going to be right here with bulleted list. Okay, so we're going to add those bullets in there. The first character that we're going to talk about is Kendra for my story, for my play. And with Kendra, we're going to add just a little bit notes of how she is as a person. So she is brave. She stands up to bullies. And she is courageous. Ooh, let me go back here. Alrighty. And then moving on to Beth, she's a little bit more shy. She helps others. Okay, we're gonna talk about our giant. Okay, so because we talked about in our story about he having a great scream, a great yell, so we can say that he's angry. Okay. And we can also say kind of what his thoughts are. Thinks that people do not like him. And the last character we need to talk about right now, we're not going to talk about Rainbow. Rainbow, yes, is important, but she's not a character because she doesn't speak. If you have an animal that speaks, you do need to add them into your character list. So the last character that we need to talk about is our fairy godmother. She is the one who helps Kendra and Beth overcome their challenge to rescue Rainbow. So we can add Rainbow in there, just talking about the fairy godmother and what she does. Okay, now moving on to our settings, boys and girls. Again, make sure you click on it first. It has that blue border around it. Then you can double click inside for our settings. Again, I'm going to have to come up here to more to get those bullets to show up. Click on bulleted list. Oop, that was the numbered one. And then we'll get our circles in there. Again, if you want to use a different type of bullet, that's great. That's perfectly fine. So with our setting, we're first going to talk about the castle. Okay, and the castle is where Kendra and Rainbow live. So that's where our story is going to start. The next one is going to be the woods. This is where the giant lives and takes Rainbow. Okay. And those are going to be our 2 main settings right now. Now, with our characters, we're going to come back here, have a little discussion about our characters. There's going to be some requirements with this. Okay, and I know that with you guys starting your plays, getting your plot mountain plot done, having ideas of where you want the story, the play to go, you're already going to have some ideas for who your characters are. But you need to have at least 2, no more than 5. Okay, at least 2 characters, no more than 5. The reason that I say that, boys and girls, is because if you have more than 5 characters, especially when we get to the dialogue part where the characters need to start talking back and forth with each other, that's going to be a lot of details, a lot of information you're going to have to add. So let's not do any more than 5. And with the characters, just like with my fairy godmother, she doesn't have a big role. So you can have characters that have maybe 1 or 2 lines, but they do need to be included within our list of characters so we know who's coming. Same thing with our setting, just to make sure that we have enough information. We're gonna have at least 2, which is what I have. No more than 3, okay? Because we don't want this stories, we don't want our plays to jump around everywhere. And I know some of you had talked about maybe having those lovely snakes and anacondas. If you want to have those, that's fine. So some of your settings, let's say that, because anacondas can go in the rivers, so maybe your settings could be the river and the forest. So your settings don't have to be anything elaborate right now. If you want them to be, let's say that your play takes place in outer space. You can talk about them jumping from one planet to another. That would be great. But again, don't have too much right now. Just have an idea of where you want the characters to be, where you want them to interact, where you want the big picture events to happen. Alrighty, boys and girls, so you're gonna work on characters and settings today. I know that on the next slide, where it says describing characters and then describing setting, I know on top it says not to be done prior to Friday, September 25th. Today is Friday, September 25th. We're gonna move this to Monday, okay? Because I wanted to make sure you had plenty of time to work on that plot mountain, the mountain plot, to get all that information there. So this is gonna be done Monday. So the only thing that we're getting done today on our graphic organizer is the characters and the setting. Alrighty, boys and girls, go have fun. Again, add just a little bit of detail, a little bit of backstory to who our characters are. And then Monday, we'll work on describing them a lot more in detail.